Like boxing, rap is a competitive sport. Often you find lines, verses, or entire songs dedicated to trying to knock out an opponent. We call this rap beef. And if you're like me, a hip-hop fan, then you know that Nicki Minaj has been part of the most interesting rap beefs of this last decade. At the top of the year in 2010, this was Nicki Minaj's knockout debut on the Billboard 100 charts. This young rapper was introduced to a much wider and broader audience because of this peak at number 44 on the charts. So this makes this, I think, the perfect start for my series where I'm asking the question, what can pop culture icons like Nicki Minaj teach us about science? Ladies and gents, this is Hip Hop Biochemistry. Hi, I'm Mook, and welcome back to my channel. In my last video, I broke down my idea for an interdisciplinary approach to trying to bring science to a wider audience. Well, consider this a punch in the fight for diversity and inclusion in science. I plan to take a subset of one discipline and try and find an intersection between that and a larger, more pop culturally relevant phenomenon. For this series, I'll be taking nature's favorite little machines called proteins and pitting them against my favorite rapper, Nicki Minaj.
To freedom!
Proteins are the workhorses of our body. They do everything that's important. Basically, from the saliva in your mouth to antibodies that are in your body that help you get better. Those are all proteins.
Thank you, Dr. Mook. Okay, now back to me. Like I was saying, proteins are everywhere. I mean, in your vegetables and even your meat. Speaking of meat and rap beef, however you like it, whether it's on a spectrum between rare and all the way to well done, have you ever wondered why beef is different kinds of shades of red? Of course, yes, because blood is red, but why is blood red? Proteins! Yes! And today I'll be talking about one of those proteins in particular, one that actually has a lot in common with Nicki's debut Billboard 100 chart topper. See, this is myoglobin. It is a small bright red protein that is commonly found in muscle cells and gives beef much of its distinctive red color. But that's not all it does. See, your body needs to extract oxygen from every breath you take and try and find some way to shuttle it around all over your body to try and nourish all your vital organs and keep you alive. But for muscles in particular, oxygen needs to be readily available at a moment's notice in case you try to run away from danger or try and chase after food or even engage in a battle. And this is where our guy shines. Because while myoglobin is not the best transporter per se, it is a great oxygen storage molecule, specifically for storing oxygen in your muscle cells for use when you need to get to work. And why is it not the best oxygen transporter? Well, that title is held by a different guy. Spoiler alert, yes, it is a protein, but we will get to that in a different video. For now, let's get back to see why Nicki was seeing red in Knockout.
Tell him I'm knocked out. Too late to cop out. Give him more head than toothpaste. And knocked out.
That's one of my favorite Nicki lines, or at least in that verse right there. It also happens to be the cleanest line that I could find in that song. Because if you've listened to the song, by now you know that yes, they're not just talking about boxing or fighting. This song, like most poetry, is filled with double entendres, metaphors, as well as colorful imagery to try and convey a message to a particular audience. And while at this point both Wayne and Nicki are prolific in the rap game, what I think actually propelled this song in particular to the top of the charts is Nicki's versatility here. She switches and shuttles so effortlessly around from hyper-feminine, enticing, cooey melodies to harsh, hard, femme-aggressive, flows, all the while bobbing and weaving through puns and metaphors, all relevant to more than 3 topics. Yes, of course she's talking about sex, but she's also talking about a strategic way to power bottom all the way to the top and win, whether it's a physical battle or even a rap battle. Nicki is letting you know that her biggest beef is being broke and she is hungry. And so while you try and treat her meekness as weakness, she is going to be the underdog who actually takes it all the way to the bank and reigns supreme. But also, no one was talking about the subject material that she was referencing, which allowed her to carve out her own lane, but also speak to rap fans like me, who had gotten tired of the same old, and were looking for fresh perspectives on a beloved sport. So while her mentor and frequent collaborator definitely did usher her onto this next level platform, it is her genius and her willingness to be the underdog that's definitely carried her all the way through to reign supreme for over a decade. This week, Billboard celebrates Nicki for being the woman with the most Billboard 100 hits of all time.
So Barbs, wherever you are in the world, please know that I love you and I thank you so much for your support.
And so in honor of my queen, and as a practical exercise for my experimental syllabus, I am going to try and link each one of those Hot 100s from Nicki to our own database and charts in biochemistry. Yes, it's called the Protein Database, or PDB. See, this collection and wealth of knowledge has allowed scientists all over the world to learn about proteins in depth and detail. And guess what? It's for free on the internet. You too can access it. Link in the description below. Go over. There are over 150,000 structures that have been deposited in the database of all sorts of fun and interesting proteins. But the very first one was, yup, you guessed it, our guy Myoglobin. So I hope you'll join me on this daily journey and we will grow our community as we learn together. And hopefully one day we'll be able to look back at this video and know that it all started with the lean cut as well as a sexy rap beef metaphor. As we move on to freedom!
Listen, you should buy a 16 cause I write it good. The 808 woof woof cause I write it good. I'm no wolf, where is that I write it good.